Hello Mallards, it is Wednesday and I am at Montverde Academy because they had a restaging of The Last Supper, which is a show that happened back in November, but I was deep in techrophilia, so I could not attend. But luckily for me, they made it to state, which means they needed to rehearse the piece again so that they could perform it next week at state competitions in Tampa, which means I got a chance to see it. I will say that in true theatrical fashion, they had an injury, and so the version of the show I saw is different than the version that happened in November, and perhaps different than the version will happen at competitions next week. But the number one thing that this group is good at is adapting to change. And in the last hour, they re-choreographed the show, they changed the way things were, and they still created something that was absolutely beautiful, that was very, very touching, and that perfectly fit within their 40-minute time limit, which is the most important part, as anyone who's done competition knows. And I thoroughly enjoyed this piece. I'll be curious to listen to the full musical because this is a full-length musical that they've cut down to a one-act for competition, which means that things are very different than they would be if you saw the full show. But it is the story of Leonardo da Vinci painting The Last Supper, sort of. It's a little bit about him, and my guess is maybe a little bit more about him in the full-length show, and then a little introduction to each of the apostles, and then sort of Leonardo's decision to paint the exact moment that Jesus told them that someone was going to betray him. And the idea is that that is the reaction that he captured. And it's fun for me to see this show, having not seen it before, knowing that their opening show for this season was Sunday in the Park with George, which has a similar motif of being a story about a painter and the creation of a famous painting. And so this falls right in line with that, which is kind of fun. And so I thoroughly enjoyed the link between those two things, and I think that the piece is really good, and I wish them the best at state competitions. I'm sure it will be stunning. And now I'm on my way home to get some sleep after this 45-minute fantastic experience, and I'll see you tomorrow.